Welcome to Estadio Nuevo Vivero in Badajoz in southwest Spain for the championship final of the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship. It is the reigning champions Georgia versus Portugal. Georgia and Portugal will play each other in Pool C in the 2023 Rugby World Cup in September, so this final has all the ingredients to be an absolute blockbuster. Georgia and Portugal topped Pool A and B respectively. Georgia defeated Germany, Netherlands, Spain and Romania in the semi-final, while Portugal defeated Belgium, Poland, Romania and Spain in the semi-final. Perfect conditions here as well in Badajoz in southwest Spain. In Georgia, well, they've won their last 5 test matches in a row. Since 2011, they've won every Rugby Europe Championship, barring the one in 2017. And in their last 54 Rugby Europe Championship games, they have only lost once when Romania beat them 6 years ago to the day. For Portugal, they are unbeaten in their last 7 test matches. It is Portugal's best finish in the championship since they won the 2004 championship, and Portugal were the last team to deny Georgia a victory in the Rugby Europe Championship when it was a 25-all draw last year. The coin toss, Merab Sharikadze on the left, the captain of Georgia, and on the right is Tomasz Appleton, the captain of Portugal. Merab Sharikadze, he has captained Georgia to 4 Rugby Europe Championships. Tomasz Appleton always won a Rugby Europe trophy with Portugal in 2019. And the round schedule, well, we saw Belgium just beat Poland 18 points to 17 with their first win in the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship. The Netherlands with a 50 points to 28 victory over Germany. So the Netherlands leapfrogged Brazil. And then we also just saw that Romania beat Spain in an absolutely nail-biter of note.
Rugby Europe finals. What are the expectations for today's game?
Yeah, that's a final. We trained very hard. We will try to transfer that on a pitch. We played against one of the good team. I think Portugal deserved that place at the final, and we will try our best today.
Thank you so much. And now we are the coach of Portugal. What are the key elements for today's game?
Key elements. There are a lot, but first is to be strong enough in the scrum, in the mauls to compete with Georgia, because they are a very good team at that level.
Thank you so much.
Levan Maisashvili of Georgia and Patrice Lagiske of Portugal. Levan Maisashvili has never lost the Rugby Europe Championship game in charge. Very impressive record. And for Patrice Lagiske, it's his 4th Rugby Europe Championship in charge. So Georgia, they've made 4 changes to the starting 15 that defeated Romania in the semi-final 2 weeks ago. Kote Mika Utadze, Georgi Tutskiritse, Beka Zachinadze and Akaki Tabudzadze started in all 4 games in the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship for Georgia. And we look to Portugal, well, they've had to make 10 changes to their starting 15 that defeated Spain 2 weeks ago in the semi-final. 4 of their star backline players are out of this clash: Samuel Marques, Rodrigo Mata, Rafael Storti and Nuno Sousa Getch, but they do welcome back Mike Tajger, Nicola Martins, Geronimo Potela and Jose Lima. On the bench for Georgia, watch out for Luka Matkava. He has scored 33 points in this season's campaign. Tonike Kahohidze is just 19 years of age and is set to earn his 3rd cap for Georgia. And on the bench for Portugal, watch out for Duarte Danish, the super sub, who scored tries off the bench against Spain and Romania. I'm delighted to say that today I'm joined by former Sevens captain for England and Great Britain, Tom Mitchell.
It's great to be here. We've just been there. We've had an absolute feast of European rugby today already, but I'm hoping everyone's saved some room for this one because it's going to be a pretty tasty prospect here to cap off this year's Rugby Europe Championship. And there's been sport for interesting narratives, I think, this year during the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship, and it's no different. Two teams with high aspirations for where they want to go in the game, and they'll be seeking to get their hands on the trophy today, Justin.
Absolutely. And Portugal, you can just see that frame of Francisco Fernandes, who's the oldest player across both matchday squads. That's what they're playing for today, the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship. Beautiful trophy. And what a day and what an evening for a final out here in southwest Spain. Tomas Appleton, a proud skipper, 53rd cap for his country. He has scored 16 tries as well. Captain of Portugal, and the captain of Georgia is opposite number, Merab Sharikadze. And Tom, there must be some massive emotions going on through both teams.
I think so much to play for these two teams, not only because it's a final. Whenever you go into a final, there's that added bit of anticipation, probably some nerves as well, which the players will have to manage. And some will be more used to that than others. There's a fair bit of experience, particularly in the Georgia side. Few new faces, younger players in the Portugal side, but they all have the same challenge of overcoming those nerves. But the bigger pressure that both these teams probably put on themselves is that pressure to inspire their nations. So often we hear coming out of both camps that they want to deliver for their fans and they want to grow the game in their country. Thomas Appleton was talking exactly about that, wanting to inspire his home nation to pick up the rugby ball and continue to build on the legacy that they're setting with this Portugal team. And the Georgian players so often speak about the passion that they derive from being Georgian, playing for their country. And I'm looking forward to seeing that passion unroll on that turf tonight. It looks like a wonderful evening for some running rugby. So hopefully, Coach Lagasquet was talking a lot about the scrums and the mauls. Personally hoping we don't have too many of those.
Georgia was such an experienced side in their starting lineup. They average at 50 caps per player. For Portugal, they average at 24 caps a player. 2023 Rugby Europe Championship final. Portugal led by Tomas Appleton and Georgia led by Merab Sharikadze. Absolutely beautiful setting out here in Badajoz in southwest Spain. And the Portuguese fans are absolutely pumped for this game. It's been really tight in the last two fixtures between these sides, with Georgia winning 23 points to 14 back in July of 2022, and then in the Rugby Europe Championship last season was a draw at 25-all in Tbilisi. So Portugal will believe. Now it's time for the anthems.
Nessa valente
feel and hear the passion of Portugal and Georgia. Almost set to go. So much at stake for both these sides. The referee today is Ludovic Cach of France, his 13th test match, in charge of the whistle. And he's joined by two other Frenchmen, Andrea Mabou and Stéphane Boyer. Will be Geronimo Portela to get us underway for Portugal. Didn't play 2 weeks ago against Spain, had a bit of a knock. And Becca Zachinadze in picture, the number 7, 5th consecutive start. Maisas Vidi versus Lajiske. Sharikadze versus Appleton. 12th in the world versus 16th in the world. This is Georgia and Portugal for the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship.
Captain.
Ludovic Cach checks with his officials and the captains. Time is on in the championship final of the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship. Georgia versus Portugal. Becca Zachinadze with a strong carry. Vasil Lobshanidze at the base. The scrum off. Goes for the box kick. Kaki Tabudzadze tries to tap that back and Mamukashvili knocks it on, and it will be a scrum to Portugal.
Yeah, typically efficient from Georgia on the receipt of that first kick-off. Lovely setup and a nicely placed kick. Interesting first involvement from Bento, Portuguese 15. Come in for Suzagech, who was one of their key players and really exciting, but already showing his fundamentals there. Didn't quite gather it, but really confidently coming onto that high ball. He's an exciting player. It'd be nice to see him get his hands on the ball at some point. Only 8 caps under his belt, but he certainly looks to have no shortage of confidence, so we'll see him into this game soon enough, no doubt.
Portugal, 83% success rate on their own scrum. Thibaut de Freitas, that's a good scrum from Portugal. Lucas Portela with the skip pass. And here's Simal Bentu, and he finds Vasan Pentu, who scored 5 tries in the championship so far. Portela with a good ball.
Release after.
Lucas Portela once more. And Tata and Appleton. And here is Stevie Siqueira. And Appleton, the captain, takes contact, finds Tutski Ritse and Becca Gogadze. Here's Thibaut de Freitas, tackled by Jayashvili. Lucas Portela and Bentu heading the line. 2 early involvements for the fullback. Pedro Lucas Portela. So far, good hands from Portugal, but they have coughed up the ball, and it'll be a scrum to Georgia.
Yeah, I like that start from Portugal. I think if they're going to have a good shot at this big Georgian side, they've got to keep the ball moving. We've seen them play some really fast, exciting rugby in this tournament. I think that's going to be the key to unlocking this defence. What we saw there, though, is they did a lot of moving laterally, not much space taken up the field. But there was an opportunity. They created a nice out-the-back opportunity to break the line, just didn't quite execute it. But they're going to have to hold on to the ball a bit better than that as well. Maybe a bit of nerve showing. Simple error early doors. But a few minutes in, I'm sure they'll settle into it. Always a feature of a final, that. The nerves show themselves probably more so than the average game.
With Georgia, they've won 25 out of their 26 scrums on their own ball, 96%. The best in the competition. Vasil Lobshanidze, Becca Gogadze, Lobshanidze, looking for some real estate. And he finds Simal Pentu, the fullback.
Yeah, smart work again. Bentu on the ball again, this time in a covering role. Actually really nice positioning from him, because that was a smart kick. And we're going to have to keep our eyes out. Lobshanatse, he's a live wire in that Georgian 9 role, but he's also a very good footballer. Not only seeing that through the 80 minutes, but actually saw a lovely Instagram clip of him doing some keepy-ups in the warm-up. And he was showing his ability to put the ball in behind Portugal there. But well covered by Bentu. He's getting lots of early touches, and I think he'll be relishing this chance to get some game time tonight in a big game.
92% from their own line out, Georgia, and they've lost that one. Beautiful from Portugal. Trying to cause drama at the first lineup, but Georgia still have it. It's still going. Lobshanidze. Haas Ferreira with the turnover. And Manuel Kudos Pentu, you've got to watch out for him. Akaki Tabudzadze does really well. 25 tries for Georgia in 27 caps. 3 more and he will break the Georgian try scoring record. Lobshanidze once more. 75th cap today for Georgia. He looks to clear the decks.
I love that little kick chase from Pentu there, and he was clinging on to Tabudzadze's shirt with everything he had. And I tell you what, that's a wise thing to do, because if you let go and give Tabudzadze too much space, he will find a way to the try line. An unbelievable scoring record, and certainly one to watch as this game breaks up a little bit as we get later into the game. But encouraging signs for Portugal on the set piece already as well.
Lukasz, skip ball to Appleton, and Bentu for Pentu, and covered well by David Niniashvili. Hard to believe he's just 20 years of age and his 21st cap, but it's a penalty to Portugal and an opportunity for the first points.
There's a bit going on there. Brilliant pressure from Portugal here. Little kick through was really smart. Just look at the enthusiasm flooding through. At the moment, this first 5 minutes, it just feels like Portugal probably, we're off.
Manuel Kudos Pentu with the offload to Appleton. Tomas Appleton scores for Portugal. What a start for Portugal. Absolutely incredible.
And just as I was saying, that Portugal seem to have started with a bit more pizzazz, or a bit more zip. They go and take the quick tap, and it results in a score. I love that intent for them. Brilliant start to the game in terms of their energy, and Georgia probably just trying to feel their way into it. But there's no time in a game like this. Portugal putting the heat on, and Appleton, captain score, popping up early in the game. And no doubt he will continue in that vein and drag his team along with him. I just think that's so brave, so easy in that scenario just to take the 3 points when you get an early penalty. Probably kickable. Courage to tap it, sling it wide and have a crack is what will serve them well, I think, in this game.
Well, Geronimo Portela, just 1 out of 3 from the boot this season. Portela for the extra 2, and that just drifts wide. But what a start for Portugal. Tomas Appleton in his 53rd cap scores his 17th try, and the captain strikes.
The interesting thing now is just being able to build on it. So you would tend to have the opening of these exciting games, a bit of a frantic start. Portugal been able to capitalise on that, but the game will settle down now. So how can they match Georgia in terms of the control elements of the game as well?
Simal Pentu, well, he's had a busy opening 8 minutes out here in Badajoz in southwest Spain. Lukasz delivers for Jose Madeira. It's his birthday today, the 22-year-old in his 31st cap. Absolutely remarkable. He's played and started in all 10 of the last test matches. Pedro Lukasz at the base. And that's a good kick by Pedro Lukasz, just 22 years of age.
And that's exactly what we're talking about there. That ability to receive a kickoff after the adrenaline's pumping after the score, that shows a lot of maturity, both individually to execute the skills, but as a team as well, to have the control to do a couple of phases to set up the kick option and then actually put it out into touch, and a good touch too. They're in decent field position here to defend.
Mika Utadze, Shalva Mamukashvili at the back, and it's an error from Georgia. And they look a little bit rattled, Tom.
Yeah, make no mistake, they're coming into this game as favourites, and sometimes that's a tough mantle to carry into a game like this in a neutral location as well. But I've no doubt they'll settle into it. They'll be looking to some of the leaders, of which there are many in that lineup, just to settle things down. And to be honest, the set piece is a good place for them to do that. First couple of scrums looked okay for Portugal, but that's going to be a hot spot of action tonight for sure. Those front rows will be going at it. Portugal probably very grateful to have a couple of experienced heads back in that region.
Completely different front row for Portugal since the team in the semi-final when they beat Spain. Francisco Fernandes, Mike Tajach and Diogo Hasfacher. And a free kick now to Georgia, so that's a blow. And you can see Shalva Mamukashvili, he wants a scrum. The best beard in world rugby.
And one of the best scrummagers in world rugby too. Probably not connected. I don't know, maybe it is. Not sure I'd fancy rubbing my chin against that beard. Certainly not scrummaging against him.
So Georgia with an incredible front row of Abuladze, Mamukashvili and Gigashvili. Lobshanidze with the put-in. Quick ball for Sharikadze, Captain Marvel, Abshandadze, David Niniashvili. Akaki Tabudzadze is giving chase. And in the end, neat little kick by Tero Abshandadze.
Yeah, neat little back move by Georgia. I think Tabudzadze was calling for the kick. I think it actually became the only option in the end because he got himself quite flat. The pass would have been a bit of a tight option. So the only call there was to put the kick in behind. I think he would have liked to see it stay in field and then put some pressure on, but not bad field position here for Georgia. Pressure on the throw for Portugal to get out here.
Taken by Siqueira, Stevie Siqueira. But it will be a line-out or scrum to Georgia now. And this is where they're so dangerous. Set piece
Line out.
in totality operating at over 90%. And they're asking for a line-out. And they've scored 6 rolling more tries in the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship. So Shalva Mamukashvili to throw. Mika Utadze, Shalva Mamukashvili at the back of that rolling maul. Have Portugal done their homework? That's the question. Mamukashvili edging closer and closer. You need some support here. And Georgia are backing themselves. Vasil Lobshanidze has to dig. It's a free play. Sharikadze, Tero Abshandadze is smashed in the tackle.
Do you know what? Portugal defended that maul really well. I thought they had done a good job of cutting it out.
On the line.
Shalva Mamukashvili going with the tap and go. Not messing around. Gogadze in his first start of the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship. Lobshanidze. Sharikadze, the captain. Beka Gigashvili. So close, Georgia. This is where Georgia is ruthless. They're looking for the lead. Beka Zachinadze with the carry. Lobshanidze with the dummy. Beautiful play from Tero Abshandadze. And David Niniashvili the fullback. Lobshanidze goes on the short side to Sharikadze. Sharikadze still going.
Ball is ripped. Ball is ripped.
A pick and go, and it's a turnover. It's play on ya. Beka Zachinadze with the big don't argue.
Advantage offside, number 5.
Lobshanidze, Tero Abshandadze. Over the top it goes for Tutskiridze. What a hit that was. And David Niniashvili, Akaki Tabotadze. 26th try for Georgia. The runaway bullet strikes again.
And the man's got an unbelievable try-scoring record. My record's all right, 26 in 28 games now. And he's honing on the record for his country. Brilliant acceleration to finish it off. Probably not one of his hardest finishes in the end. Portugal did a great job of just keeping them out. I was surprised initially from the penalty. Georgia didn't go for the line out on the maul. But they were pummeling that Portuguese defence with the short hit-ups. In the end, went wide to their try machine. Tabutadze with a nice run into the corner. I mean, he had a little glimpse there of his acceleration. It's like he just drops a gear. It's like it is electric. He's just got that surge up to top speed, making very quick players look kind of slow there.
Tero Abshandadze, 22 points in the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship, 8 from 12 from the boot. Oh, it's picture perfect from Tero Abshandadze, and Georgia are in front here in Badajoz in Spain. Georgia 7, Portugal 5 after 15 minutes. 2 brilliant tries.
Some really interesting things just to note when we're watching the decision making, particularly probably from Georgia here. So when they're choosing options from penalties and the emphasis they're putting on executing things like kicking goals, because their aspirations, they're thinking about crunch moments in bigger games. They're looking ahead to the World Cup already. So all these things matter, and they'll be wanting to try things beyond just this game.
That was one heck of a carry by Pekka Kokadze.
Use it.
The number 8 coming back from a minor injury. And what a take by Simal Bentu. He's been a standout for Portugal so far in the opening 16 minutes. Fernandes, Portela. Big pressure from De Pladze. Pedro Lucas going on the short side. He can be very dangerous, but he has to be careful that he's not isolated. Portugal get a penalty and an opportunity to get back into Georgian territory.
No problem, number 8.
Just winding it back to that carry off the kickoff, as you said.
Number 8 wide.
Kurgadze, I mean, he is an athlete. He is an athlete indeed. I don't know where his injury came from, actually. Didn't pick that one up, but again, doing a bit of research. A couple of pictures on his Instagram of him snowboarding. I'm trusting that's not where he picked up his little injury. But he's back now, and he's carrying, that was rugby league style, off the back fence, straight up the gut. That's a bit of a statement in itself, but Portugal were getting the ball back, and they look like they're kind of playing on the edge. And that's kind of been a theme of some of their exciting play. It's kind of how they're going to unlock this game, as I've already mentioned. Good field position here. Let's see if they can be brave and courageous.
Taken by Jose Madeira. Exceptional rolling more from Portugal. Look at it go. They're giving Georgia a taste of their own medicine. Mikey Taja with a great throw and good presentation by the hooker as well. Pedro Lucas, Tibu de Freitas. Free play for Portugal. Lucas, Portela with the kick pass. Giving chase is Manuel Kudos Pinto. And we will come back for the penalty, but that's some promising signs for Portugal. That was a great rolling maul.
Yeah, that maul had some wheels on it. It was absolutely racing towards the try line. Perhaps caught Georgia a little bit unaware. Love the option from Portela as well. Free play. He's got all the skills in the locker. It was a lovely little crossfield kick. They weren't able just quite compete in the air for it to make it a true 50-50, but they get another shot at the line out here. Let's see if they can double up on that maul action, or maybe they'll try something different.
Mike Tajich, the hooker, plays his rugby for Perpignan in the top 14. Stevie Sequeira with the take. It's looking promising for Portugal. They're looking for their second try of the fixture and looking for the lead. But Georgia with a great counter. And they might just have the turnover as well. They do. That's a big moment in the game.
Yeah, just didn't quite get that one right in terms of the setup of the maul. They tried, I think, to do a little peel off the back of the jumper, so the jumper comes down and they peel infield to try and set it up. But as the players came around, they all ended up very upright. And you just have less power, less pushing power when you're upright. And they didn't get low. And somewhere in there, one of the Georgian players, quite catch who it was, managed to get it on the ball. And of course, when there's a maul, and it goes down, it's not going anywhere, you're awarded the scrum as the defensive team. Good turnover from Georgia. They may be a bit relieved to get away with that after the last maul caught them napping. And they'll look to probably get out of this area of the field, I suspect.
Vasil Lubshanidze with the put-in. Beka Kokadze to Sharikadze, his captain. And Tero Abshandadze looks to relieve some pressure.
Just efficient. Again, same that we saw from the very first kickoff. Their ability to just one carry, set up the ruck, good platform. They're showing their class in that area of the field. It's kind of no-frills stuff, but it's important. It wins you games in finals. I'm loving the carry though as well. It's having Sharikadze. He's very much the heart of this Georgian team, the captain. And not only will he be saying to the boys, but carrying like that is a real statement that they can get behind.
Turnover here for Georgia. Sharikadze, the captain, sends it downtown. Yes, for San Pintu to Simao Bentu, the fullback. David Niniashvili with the hoist. Comfortable ball for Simao Bentu. Two stars going toe-and-toe. Here is Alexandra Tudua, the Grandmaster, the 35-year-old, 107th cap for Georgia. Abshandadze and Beka Kogadze.
No, release.
Georgia starting to settle down. 7 plays 5 at the moment in favor of Georgia. Tero Abshandadze. And he's kicked that one out on the full, and that is uncharacteristic from Tero Abshandadze and his 42nd cap. He's just 23 years of age.
No doubt he'll be frustrated with that. Especially given what I said about them holding high standards for themselves and wanting to execute, not just for the sake of winning this game and picking up the trophy, but also because they're playing the long game. They're looking ahead to where they can take this Georgian national side. And in order to do that, you've got to get all the little pieces of the puzzle right.
Sequeira with a good take. Portela, Appleton back on the inside. Some good interplay from Portugal. Lukas goes on the short side to Bentu. And to Pladze with a good tackle. And now Martins. Martins, he hasn't missed a tackle all tournament. 45 out of 45 coming into this fixture. Portela. Solid kick. Almost the 50-22. David Niniashvili.
Stop.
With the clearance.
Excellent kick from Portela there. He was coming across. I think it was Lobshanetse for Georgia having to cover. He had a lot of ground to make up because there's a well-placed kick from Portela, seeking the 50-22, which would have given them the line out. But they still ended up with the ball inside the Georgian half.
Tajich to throw.
Over the 15.
Up goes Jose Hindrad, but it's gone to Madeira and Lukash. And Portela back on the inside to Kodos Pinto.
Advantage. Advantage
Georgia
over for Tonokon.
with the turnover.
50-22.
And that is a great kick. And the chase is on for Vasil Lubshanidze. The number 9, Simal Bentu, in all sorts of trouble. And that is brilliant play by Georgia.
Oh, what a kick off the turnover. Portugal actually almost going, they went for the overthrow line out, which is not a bad option, but they almost went for the same move that didn't really work on the last line out play. It's the sort of miss ball, playing it wide, and then the little lift to the blindside winger, but neither time was it really on, and that one didn't come off at all, passed to no one, gave Georgia a free ball. They find themselves 6 or 7 metres out from the line.
Sakhinadze with the take.
One.
Free play for Georgia.
Advantage.
Looking for try number 2, Sharikadze, Abshandadze, Akaki Tabudzadze. 27th try for Georgia. He now equals the try scoring record for Georgia and joins Mamuka Kokodza with 27 tries. One more and he'll break the record. Akaki Tabudzadze.
One word I thought I'd be saying a lot tonight is ruthless when it came to this Georgian side, and that was it. Brilliant execution, sleight of hand from his fly half to put him away. And he knows his way to the try line, but it helps when you've got players inside you putting it on a plate. That was wonderful stuff. Really clinical from Georgia there, close to the Portugal line. They didn't mess around, hit it out. Couple of plays out the back of decoy runners, and then the little lift off the outside shoulder, so difficult to defend because you don't see that runner coming. He's come all the way from that blindside wing. Outside is 10. Brilliant execution from Georgia, showing their class there and putting them ahead.
Abshandadze, 331 points for his country, second in Georgian rugby history, just 23 years of age. Tero Abshandadze to make it 14 points to 5. And that's not his best kick, so it's Georgia 12, Portugal 5 after 25 minutes in Badajoz.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that again. He's scored a lot of points. He's pushing for one of the top point scorers already. I wonder whether it's just seeping in a couple of errors off the boot from him. Maybe unfair of me to say, but I'm putting high standards on these guys because I'm sure that's the same stand they hold themselves to at the moment.
Jose Hindrad now, the number 5, Pedro Lucas. Can they hit back Portugal? Tibu de Freitas, loose pass. Jose Lima, Martins, Manuel Kodos Pinto. Pedro Lucas, Geronimo Portela, Fernandes with good hands, and then Madeira for Bentu, and here's Jose Hindrad back to Simal Bentu. Penalty to Portugal, much needed one as well.
Yeah, it did look a little bit dangerous. Whenever you see someone's feet pointing up to the sky and the head pointing down towards the turf.
Il n'y a pas de dangerosité. Carton jaune ou pénalité? Ouais. Non. Non. It's a tip tackle. No high degree. No, listen me. It's not a high. Listen me, please, captain. It's not a high degree of danger, but it's a tip tackle in length. Ah, it's yellow card.
Sherikadze clearly not impressed with that call, but as I say on the replay, didn't look good. You've got to be responsible as the tackler these days for keeping the safety of the ball carrier to some degree. He had the Portuguese player upended from the looks of things. Unfortunately, sometimes in the game when it doesn't look good, the referee only has one option. I think that was, I'd like to see it again, because certainly Sherikadze
So yellow card.
Not happy about it. Referee pretty certain though. I was glad he spoke and described it in English because I was struggling to translate the French. I'm sure you would have done it for us, Justin.
So Simao Bentu, just 7 points the difference. Simao Bentu, the 21-year-old, in his 9th cap for his country, with an opportunity to make it a 4-point ball game out here in Badajoz in southwest Spain. Simao Bentu. That is a lovely kick from the fullback. Georgia 12, Portugal 8, 29 minutes gone. What a contest has this been so far, Tom?
Well, I got to say off the boot, I wasn't sure where that one was going. I thought it might be going under the bar. It was a really low, flat-driven kick, but it did the business. 3 points on the board, and a bit of a freak one for Portugal there, but they'll take it. And all of a sudden, we've got a real tussle here. Just as Georgia looked to be setting themselves on the game, Portugal get back into it, and it's tight. And we thought it would be.
Use it. No bind.
Georgia coming through Tajha, having to do some work for Portugal. David Niniashvili. Looks like he's found some distance. And Geronimo Portela, well positioned, the number 10. Tero Abshandadze. What a take by Manuel Kudos Pinto.
No, but it's yours.
Pedro Lucas. And Hindrad Portela for the skip pass.
Stop. Thanks, stop.
And David Niniashvili has to track back. The Lyon fullback, and he's setting off. Beautiful play by David Niniashvili. Portugal competing at the breakdown, and they've got another penalty. That's fabulous work by Nicola Martins, the number 7.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Niniashvili much, but he's probably the star man. That was the first time it looked like he was just going to take the shackles off and have a run, but he got himself a little bit isolated. Portuguese 7, Martins, so quick over the ball in those scenarios. Good player, solid back row player. Type of guy you love to have in the team, because he wins you moments like this.
Ah, il est clairement isolé. Il y a 3 joueurs portugais sur les appuis au départ. Hein.
Nice opportunity for Portugal to build on that last 3 points. It's a really interesting exchange of kicks in that passage of play. Some nice kicks, but all hitting the ground, which can often lead to an advantage because it buys you time to get your chase up and running as well.
Simao Bentu, successful with his first penalty a few minutes ago. Simao Bentu. Another excellent kick from the Portuguese fullback. It's Georgia 12, Portugal 11. 32 minutes gone here in the southwest of Spain in Badajoz.
It's just so much already going on in this game. I'm watching on the ball, I'm watching off the ball. There's so many interesting facets going on.
Manuel Kudos Pinto was a late replacement for Rodrigo Mata, Portugal's leading try scorer in their history with 26 tries. A big loss for Portugal. Also their leading try scorer in the championship, Portela. And David Niniashvili goes with the kick chase. Excellent take by David Niniashvili. Lobshanidze for Mamukashvili. And here's Beka Sahinadze looking to break the tackle. Lobshanidze, Tero Abshandadze, Niniashvili. And anything can happen here. Here's Jose Lima in his 50th appearance for his country. And he's found some nice space. Vasan Pintu is giving chase. And that's brilliant work by the outside centre, Jose Lima.
Yeah, I'm just not sure it was the right call for Georgia to kick that ball away further down the field. Felt like they coughed it up a bit, but Lima, such an experienced head for Portugal. Read it nicely covered and put in a beautiful kick. Again, though, you saw the kick chase from Portugal. There was 4 or 5 players in the vicinity as that ball rolled out into touch, and it would have been interesting if that had stayed on the park. What would have unfolded? Great intent and effort from this Portuguese side in this first half an hour.
Release! Release for. Okay. Use it, 9. Non, je vous le dirai.
Vasil Lobshanidze with the box kick for San Pintu.
Stop.
And Lobshanidze. Bit of kick tennis. Geronimo Portela, just 22 years of age. And he finds touch.
You just mentioned Portela and his age there. He looks, just got that aura about him on the pitch where he looks so mature, so calm and confident for a young guy playing on a big stage against the top side. You wouldn't know it. He looks like he's kind of having a run around for his local side. And I love that. I love seeing that kind of, I mean, who knows what's going on beneath the surface, I suppose. But externally, he just looks very composed. And his team will be loving that. It's wonderful to play around players that exude that confidence because it's infectious.
Lukas, turnover at line-out time. Jose Hindrad, and he finds Thibaut de Freitas, Pedro Lukas, and Portela for Appleton. There's an overlap here, Lima, and that's gone forward, so it will be a Georgian scrum.
Yeah, forcing it a little bit early. Appleton trying to offload through the tackle, but didn't quite win the contact first. Got to get through the collision before you can offload out the back of the defensive player. But Portugal trying that strategy every time with their attack. They're trying to pull it quite deep and get on the outside of Georgian defensive line. But actually, in fairness to Georgia, there aren't that many cracks appearing at the moment.
Fais avec les bras, tu vas mêler. Clutch! Bind! Set!
Lobshanidze once more with the put-in. Pressure from Portugal. And we will have a reset.
Portugal will be pretty happy with the way they've managed this scrum. Coach Lagaske was saying before the game, the importance of the scrum and the maul scenarios in this game. Obviously, Georgian front row is world famous. And they flood the French leagues because of their quality. And dare I say it, feared against some sides, but this Portuguese pack fronting up so far.
Clutch! Bind!
Free kick for Georgia. You wouldn't be surprised if they have another scrum.
Second free kick. The referee's given at scrum time. One risk for Portugal. They're not being pushed off it, but they don't want to get on the wrong side of the referee because so much of the scrum and the way it's refereed is interpretation. It's what the referee and his assistants are seeing. So they don't want to be getting on the bad side of the ref at this time because it will be a long rest of the night if that happens. Let's see if this ball comes out clean. I'd love to see Georgia try something with the back line here. Get the ball in Niniashvili's hands.
Lubshanidze once more, quickly out. Alexandra Todua, Tero Abshandadze, David Niniashvili. Niniashvili breaking through, exceptional work from the fullback, and it's still alive. Lubshanidze. Sakhinadze. Lubshanidze to Niniashvili. To Akaki Tabudzadze. Did well to keep that alive. Niniashvili looking for a crucial try before half-time. And Niniashvili, Tom, he looks so dangerous, the Lyon fullback.
Well, we got what we wanted. That's what I asked for that scrum.
Time off.
And he didn't disappoint. He's got that electric flair that's just so good to watch. And he's young. I mean, he's only 20 years old, but he's fast. He's obviously not short of confidence and trying things. Probably maybe tried a bit too much towards the end of that play. It got a bit scrappy, just needs to be tidied up. But just reading around him, and I don't know him personally, but hear that he's a very kind of humble, focused individual, which is so exciting to hear from a young player who's already showing so much promise. But he could be a star man for Georgia and almost a poster boy as their rugby status grows and grows over the next few years. As you say, plying his trade in France, setting that league alight.
Okay.
Plenty of players playing in the top 14 on the park today. 9 out of the 23 from Georgia playing in the top 14, and for Portugal, they were 2 out of their 23 playing in the top 14.
We are doing this, sir. We are preparing this. Yeah, no problem. Okay, for the substitution.
And then also for Georgia, 10 of their 23 play for the Black Line, and 12 out of the 23 for Portugal are playing their club rugby in Portugal. And Chuse Lima, well, on his 50th appearance, leaving the park. We hope he's okay. Tajra to Martins. And here is Thibaut de Freitas, the number 8. Pedro Lucas taking his time, finds Botella, who's under a bit of pressure. And in the end, he does really well, the fullback. He's half back as well, Pedro Lucas, also only 22 years of age. And they won the Under-20 Rugby Europe Championship a few years ago. Future really bright.
Yeah, it makes me a bit nervous with how long he takes on those clearance kicks, but it's almost like he's in perfect control. He knows exactly how many split seconds he's got to get that ball away, and he does it just at the right time. I hope I'm not putting the curse on him there for the rest of this game, but they'll want to just keep Georgia out here. One last shot for Georgia, an attack inside the Portuguese half. Less than a minute to play before the break. This is when the detail counts. Easy to switch off in these little moments.
Chohidze on the park for Mamukashvili, and Lubshanidze, the scrum off with the take at line-out time. Beka Sakhinadze to Beka Gigashvili.
No.
Gigashvili, who plays for Tulo in the top 14. And Beka Gogadze, well, he's the captain of PAO in the top 14. Lubshanidze with the educated boot. Akaki Tabudzadze is giving chase.
La marque, les gars. Captain? Yeah. Ouais.
And that is half time. Georgia 12, Portugal 11. It has been extremely tight. What a championship final it has been so far between these two sides. Anyone can win this fixture, that's for sure. It started off with an incredible try from Tomas Appleton when Portugal took a quick tap, and then Georgia responded in an emphatic fashion with Akaki Tabudzadze, who scored 2 tries, taking his tally to 27. And then it was the boot of Simal Bentu with 2 penalties, which resulted in a half-time score of 12 points to 11. Tom, what a final it's been. And this is all you want, really. Second 40 to go, anything can happen.
Oh, you love it when it's this tight. You just never know they're going to come out for the second half. But we got what we wanted from that first 40. Both teams showing what they're capable of. And I had a couple of different passages of play, but so finely poised coming out after the break.
Portugal have really been good in the opening 40 minutes. Tomas Appleton, and there was the try. Manuel Kudos Pinto, what an offload to his captain, Tomas Appleton. It's an exceptional piece of work coming in for Rodrigo Mata. And what a way to open up the account in the championship final. And then Tero Abshandidze, that was a massive hit from Jose Lima on his 50th appearance. Georgia got really close that time, and Niniashvili to Akaki Tabudzadze, the runaway bullet. He's just not scoring. And he scores one more, and you'll go to 28 tries. He's already got 8 tries in the Rugby Europe Championship this season. And he doesn't stop scoring. Tero Abshandadze with a lovely kick. This has been such a ferocious contest. The Pladze with good work. That was good skill from Abshandadze, and that was Akaki Tabuzadze's 27th test try. Beautiful hands. You can see how much it means to the bench. We'll be seeing them in a few minutes, that's for sure. And Bentu, he's taken over the kicking duties, the Portuguese flag waving. Kudos Bentu, what a take that was. And then Bentu with another penalty. Basil Lobshadidze, scrum off taking one that time at line-out. And that is half-time. Georgia 12, Portugal 11. Don't go anywhere.
Parece que la segunda parte será menos equilibrada todavía porque los portugueses lo van a hacer. Van a ser templados, humildad, pero lo van a lanzar. Vale, muchísimas gracias. Muchas obrigado. algunos aficionados más de Portugal. A ver, ¿qué tal el partido? ¿Cómo lo ves? El segundo tiempo, ¿tú crees que ya Portugal va a ir de más?
Si lo creera, no vería al partido.
Bueno, pues buena suerte. Muchas gracias. From Madrid, unos aficionados de Madrid, ¿cómo estás viendo el partido?
El partido está siendo bastante igualado. Solo nos gustaría las aficiones que cuando pateen, que se callen, por favor. Silencio, esto es rugby, no es fútbol. Gracias.
Ahí lo tienes, una sugerencia de allí. When the players are shooting at the boats, please respect the kicker.
A huge second 40 minutes coming up very shortly. This was the schedule today. Belgium beating Poland in the 7th place playoff, 18 points to 17. Netherlands and in 5th place after their victory over Germany. It's their best finish in the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship. And then Romania beating Spain 31 points to 25. With that victory, they actually go ahead of Spain on the World Rugby rankings. And then a massive 40 minutes coming up very shortly between Georgia and Portugal. Just 1 point the difference. And even though Portugal have won every single Rugby Europe Championship since 2011, with the exception of 2017, the last two fixtures between these sides have been really, really tight. In July, Georgia won 23 points to 14, and in fact, Georgia were only leading that game 16 points to 14 on the 79th minute. And then about a year ago in the Rugby Europe Championship, in the opening round, it was a 25-all draw, and it was 25-18 after 58 minutes in the favour of Portugal. And now at half-time, we have 12 points to 11. So, Tom, anything can happen in these next 40 minutes. Although historically, Georgia have won so many Rugby Europe Championships, this is a final. Anything can happen. We saw with that yellow card to Sharikadze, there's a few moments that can happen that can really just change the outcome of this game.
Yeah, no mistake that Georgia were coming in as favourites, as you say. Finals nights like this, under the floodlights, in front of a big crowd, it can be a leveller. And going into the sheds, almost even Stevens, it'll be interesting to see which team's able to come out and gain the upper hand. I think Portugal probably benefit at the beginning of the game, taking Georgia a little bit by surprise, just with their energy and their excitement, and their daring as well to some extent. That's how they picked up that first try through Tomasz Appleton. Quick tap, throw it wide, and having a go. Be interesting to see whether they can start the second half with more of that, or whether Georgia just kind of put that experience, the big game experience perhaps, and stamp their authority on top of this game. But that said, both sides have got experience of this pressure. More recently for Portugal, obviously the World Cup qualifier, where last minute they got it against the USA, claiming their World Cup spot, which they'll take up with a relish later this year in September, where of course these two teams will meet each other again. So just a bit of extra fire to add in to this next 40 minutes. Two brilliant teams. Great performances so far from both sides. Georgia with a few more errors than they would have liked for sure.
And Tomasz Appleton, well, he has led by example with that opening try of the fixture. And as you mentioned, Tom, both these sides have had an incredible past 6 to 7 months. You just look at Georgia, who have defeated Italy and Wales, their first ever victory over Tier 1 nations, and they're in their possession here to perhaps win their 15th rugby.
Shy away from being in a tussle in a close game, 12-11. Both sides pride themselves in their ability to scrap and fight. Georgian players talk a lot about how that's part of their national identity, and we'll see how much of that carries them in this second half. But I think more than that, there will be a huge amount of expertise on show from both sides. Two quality rugby teams going head to head in this next 40 minutes. I can't wait.
Captain.
Tero Abshandadze gets the second half underway. Portugal almost doing a good job off the kickoff. And Georgia will have an opportunity early in the first half to exert some pressure.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this scrum shapes up. Change in the front row for Georgia at the moment. Very rarely do any changes in the front row mean a weakening in that position when it comes to Georgian scrummaging. But important for both sides to try and show good pictures to the referee. Touched on that in the first half. Let's see how this one plays out.
Great scrum from Georgia. Lobshanidze back on the inside to Kaki Tabozadze, going for his 28th try. Niniashvili.
Nothing? Okay. No try. No con.
Ludovik Kar will check with his official. Niniashvili is claiming for the try. Akaki Tabuzadze was so close to breaking the Georgian try-scoring record. What an inside ball that was to Tabuzadze.
Do you know what? I think they might have been done out of one there. I'd love to see another replay, because it was a bit of a messy offload from Tabuzadze. I think he would have been better off just almost going for the line himself. I think he was so close, but it looked like a nifty pickup from Niniashvili. And you'd back him to complete that skill. I thought he might have scooped it up and scored that. Love to see it again, but they've got a shot here. Line out, 6 meters out. Not a bad position for this Georgian pack to be.
Mamukashvili back on the park. And it's looking promising from Georgia. Shoulder Mamukashvili. Absolutely brilliant from the Georgian hooker. And Georgia score their 3rd try of the game.
Pretty ruthless stuff again from Georgia. That didn't take long to get over the line. Mamukashvili with a little bit of artwork on top of his head there, a bit of patchwork gone on from the little injury sustained in the first half. But not causing him any problems, clearly. Got his hands on the ball at the back of that maul, barely formed the maul. He found himself being thrown over the line by supporting players. Portugal, no real answer to that one. Brilliantly efficient from the Georgian pack.
Sotero Abshandadze. 1 out of 2 from the boot this evening. Chance to make it a 2-score ball game. And Abshandadze. And another disappointing kick from the number 10. So it's Georgia 17, Portugal 11 after 44 minutes.
Yeah, it's an early score. So often the chat in the change rooms coming out is about getting the first score on the board. It's a pretty swift one from Georgia there. Talked about their ability to stamp their authority on the game. No better way of doing that than scoring a try in the first few minutes of the second half.
Sakhinadze with a strong carry. The number 7, 36th cap today. Played in those historic wins over Italy and Wales. In fact, Georgia have 14 of their 23 have played in both those fixtures. And that's a lovely kick chase. Kote Mika Utadze with a massive hit. The Georgian lock.
Yeah, brilliant. Again, a couple of times I mentioned the setup from Georgia. Bit of detail on that setup. We've seen Portugal try and do the same thing and actually get it a little bit wrong. Importance when you're setting up that long caterpillar ruck is to stay bound. So you have to have your shoulder on the player in front of you. Otherwise, the defensive teams can just come around and pick up the ball from the back of the ruck. Georgia showing us how it's done there. Brilliant kick from Lobchinatze there. Putting it in that no man's land where the players that are set up to receive the kick have got to come a long way to try and claim it in the air. Didn't take it clean. That led to a turnover from Georgia. Portugal straying offside and giving away the penalty. Again, this is a dangerous spot. Portugal, you don't need a very long memory to know what happened last time in similar position.
Taken by Jayashvili, Tutskiridze and Beka Sakhinadze. Still going Georgia, they're looking ruthless. And that's got to be very frustrating. And Tomasz Appleton, he wanted to tap and go.
Yeah, this was never going to be far away. It might be balling over a little bit too much.
Moi j'ai le 9 blanc et le capitaine rouge, c'est ça? Ouais.
Just while this sorts itself out, Never. You expect this from two groups of players that are right on the edge. See what the ref's got to say about it.
Non, mais attends, t'es sorti des 15 ou pas?
Non, non, non.
Pourquoi il fait ça? Pourquoi tu fais ça, gros? Pourquoi tu fais ça?
Number 9. Oui, 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 je vais presque la pénalité, ballon gardé. Alors, we can. Boss, and we will start by PK.
2 yellow cards. Tomasz Appleton and Vasil Lobshanidze.
That's a huge call from the referee. Not sure what started that, what happened, but that could be a defining moment for either one of these teams. Two very influential players. The captain for Portugal has been sent, shaking his head, not happy about it. But equally, the scrum half, Lobshanidze, has gone for Georgia, central to a lot of the work that they do. Let's see how well both teams can manage that. What we missed out of all that was actually what I think was a brilliant bit of skill from Zag, I'm sure who it was, Zaginadze perhaps, with the, I thought he put it down, got up to his feet, gathered and went again towards the try line. The referee deemed it was illegal, and that's when it all spilled over.
Mike Tajach with the put-in at the line-out. Portugal looking to gain a few meters, and he tries to get the offload away. And that will be a scrum to Georgia. But Georgia, well, they've had 9 yellow cards in the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship, and in that period they are yet to concede a point, playing with 14 men.
No.
Maybe it's part of the plan then, who knows? So it doesn't hurt them too much. Yeah, I mean, I'd still love to know what the referee saw in that. I think he felt he had to discipline someone, because certainly a few handbags being thrown around in that melee. But anyway, we're back to the action now. Actually, Georgia in a good spot. Portugal trying to defend this with one fewer player in the back line. Won't be easy.
Bind!
I think what Portugal have actually done is bring Pinto into that inside centre position. We get another look at it. Basically, you lose a defender from your back three, who are your two wingers and your fullback, which means you've got one less player to cover, one less player to cover kicks.
Tero Abshandadze will have the put-in. Georgia have a penalty. There's a big chance that this is going straight to the corner for rolling maul.
Well, if there's one way to manage a yellow card when you've lost your scrum half, it's never have to put the ball into the scrum. They got an opportunity to kick to the corner here. They could have kicked for goal. That's a good way when you've got such a strong pack to lean on and you lose a member of your back line or scrum half, then they'll let the forwards do the business. I think this might not be leaving the line out, and they might be trying to get together and send this one at a rate of knots towards the Portuguese try line.
Shalva Mamokashvili, Kote Mika Otadze, and what a turnover from Chuse Hindrad. And is that ball still in play? What does the referee say? It is a line-out to Georgia, but that was a brilliant turnover at line-out time.
Brilliant steal, really brave. You've got a couple of options defensively in your line-out there. You either stay down and try and get a jump on defending the maul, so you've got more players on your feet to defend the maul, or you gamble almost and you go up and you try and win it before Georgia have even secured it. See what they go for this time.
Mamokashvili, Norechayeshvili, Beka Kokadze. Kokadze, so close. the number 8. Beka Gigashvili is poised. Gigashvili looking for try number 4. Beka Zakhinadze. Beka Zakhinadze. Hold up. Big moment. Portugal hang on.
Just with the way he prowls around the park, you'd put your money on Zakhinadze getting over the line there. His energy, his enthusiasm and his power. Brilliant defence from Portugal. Last-ditch defence, exactly the kind of thing you need in a final. All money on Georgia to go over from that distance. Portugal breathe a sigh of relief, but Georgia will be coming straight back with interest here.
Beka Kokadze. Abshandadze. Shalva Mamokashvili back on the inside for Mika Utadze. Good work from the second row. Gigashvili, Niniashvili, David Niniashvili, and some obstruction.
Messy from Georgia there, playing kind of frantic, and it's probably a symptom of not having their scrum half. 9s in the game do so much work in terms of orchestrating, directing the attack, showing the big boys where to go, timing when the ball stays in tight and then gets spread a little bit. Interestingly, they look kind of disjointed there. Maybe not surprised when you lose your scrum half. Certainly Portugal, really good job from them. Kick out from underneath their sticks. Got let off the hook a little bit there. Now they've got an attacking opportunity in Georgia's half. They've got to capitalise on these now. They won't have many shots in this second half, so when they've got the chance, they've got to take it.
Tajach to Jose Madeira. It's looking brilliant from Portugal. Good riding more. And Betancourt is on the park, number 22.
Early drive on the left and after side entry.
Yeah, in fairness to Portugal, talk a lot about the Georgian set piece and the strength of their pack and their mauling game. That's the second time Portugal have been able to just be smart with where they've directed their maul and get a bit of go forward. And that time they were just forcing the Georgians to infringe. Interesting call here. For what it's worth, they're going to the corner. For what it's worth, I think I would have taken the 3. Perhaps didn't fancy it. But they obviously back that maul. See if they go to it again. If they spread the butter a bit and take it out to the backs.
.54 minutes gone. Georgia 17, Portugal 11. 6 points the difference. Mike Tajach with the put in, and it's scrappy from Portugal, and they'll be lucky to get this one back. They've done well to recycle that ball. Botella for Sequeira. Pedro Lucas comes on the short side for Martins. Vassan Pinto for the corner. Back on the inside. And that was extremely close.
Time off.
Huge moment for Portugal. Thought he was in. It's that man, Zakhinadze, coming across with the scrag tackle, forcing him towards the touchline. The wild pass back inside. Too hot to handle. Huge opportunity for Portugal. Kind of looked like they created it out of nothing. The referee was busy sorting out a little bit of rough and tumble between the two big boys. And Portugal took their opportunity to sneak down the short side. Nicely worked, didn't seem like it took much.
Well, this Portuguese side is used to the pressure. Out of the 23, 17 played in that draw against the United States, which made them qualify for the 2023 Rugby World Cup. And that game was on a knife edge. So they will believe Georgia have plenty of work to do to defend this 6-point lead, that's for sure.
For teams of this caliber, I know I've said how disjointed it can be when you lose central character like a 9, but they'll run through these sorts of scenarios in training. Different players being sin bin, having to reshuffle, play out of position. So this is a good test for the teams as well, especially playing out here. Can they exit as well as they'd want to, despite not having people in prime roles?
Pressure on the Georgian scrum, but yes, Beka Gogadze. Another massive carry. It's been very industrious. Sakhinadze had to come to the rescue that time. A good presentation from the number 7, and Tero Abshandadze with the box kick. Portela. Simao Bentu. Bentu looking for some room, finds Pedro Betancourt, who scored 2 tries against Romania in round 3 in the opening 14 minutes of that fixture. Portela, and yes, Thibaut de Freitas. Lukas, Portela, Jose Hindrad.
Release. Thanks.
And Lukas for Portela. And Kudos Pentu, Betancourt for Simao Bentu. They just can't find an opening, Portugal. Lukas. And then Matera, work for Pedro Betancourt. Big opportunity for Manuel Kudos Pintu with the offload for Fernandes. And then it's been intercepted by Sharikadze.
Release. Release.
And that was looking ominous for Georgia. And they've recovered well. Beka Gogadze at the base. And he finds Georgi Chohidze. Georgia, well, they're in no rush with the 6-point margin. David Niniashvili. Portugal will have another go. Simao Bentu is going for 50-22. But Abshandadze, well placed.
Oh, an interesting passage of play. Portugal playing with huge amounts of width in their attack, but struggling to break that Jordan defence down. Often their carries, when they do become direct, they're not actually making any ground. They're losing 3 players to the clear out, often ending up off their feet, and all the Georgian defenders are actually popping up and getting back in the defensive line. So they're not getting any ground there. The only line break came off a scrappy loose ball, but they won't mind that. If that keeps happening, they will keep working with it.
Duat Danish has replaced Mike Tajak. Duat Danish, his 31st cap for Portugal. He's also scored 8 tries and scored 2 tries in the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship. That's a solid line out. Portela and Appleton back on the park. Betancourt with the skip pass to Manuel Kudos Pintu. And Lukas for Portela.
No. Inside.
2 young halfbacks. Diogo Haas Fajera. And he finds his captain, Tomasz Appleton. So inside their own half here. And Jose Hindrad. The Georgian defense is immaculate at the moment. Not giving an inch. And Georgia take a big win from that. Pedro Lukas says, let's get back into the Georgian half, but David Niniashvili has other ideas. And Geronimo Portela. To some kick tennis once more. David Niniashvili is setting off on a journey, and he finds Akaki Tabudzadze to Demur Depladze. Akaki Tabudzadze, the runaway bullet, back on the inside. And that was exceptionally close once more. Portugal hanging on by a thread here in Badajoz. And this was exceptional defense by Simal Bentu.
Simal Bentu might have gone some way to saving his team, or at least keeping them in it in this game. Tabu Sadze looked for money like he was in again. Just needed to get in off his outside foot, I think, and carry. Went for the offload, the one-hander over the top. For my money, not really the option. Don't think there was support there. And he's a solid bloke. I would have liked to have seen him just gone for it himself. Get away from the touchline, get back into the body of the defender. But a great little counter from Georgia there. Kicked off by our man Niniashvili. I love watching him play. He's just electric. He's just got that spark, and every time he gets it, you just breathe in, hold your breath, and anticipate that something awesome's going to happen. And it nearly did there. Great counter from Georgia. Portugal scrambling.
Guram Papidze on for Beka Gigashvili. So Portugal under the pump on their own 5-meter line. And they'll need a healthy exit here. Chachanidze is also on for Georgia. Georgia, that's a huge penalty. And this could be a massive momentum swing if Georgia can cash in now. And they're going to go for another line out, another rolling more potentially.
Yeah, it's just tough times for Portugal here, you feel. They needed to get that ball in and out of the scrum, get out of this area of the field to avoid history repeating itself. And key stage of the game here, just under 20 minutes to play. So Portugal within touching distance. But another score, and it starts to look quite different.
It's looking surgical once more. Chohidze with the throw in. Over they go, Georgia. 4th try of the game. And they're starting to build a lead. And it's Guram Papidze, the big tight head prop. He's just come onto the field. What a score for Guram Papidze.
How good's that? Straight on the try scorer's sheet. Pretty easy work for the forwards again. Well, they make it look easy anyway. This Portugal defence in the pack, no mugs, but getting walked over again off the line-out play. Wonderful stuff from the Georgian pack. And what I was saying before was that the picture and the scoreboard now just looks vastly different to what it did a few minutes ago before that try. Sometimes these scores just shift it. It just allows the Georgian side to control the game in a different way now. They can slow it down. They can perhaps put the ball out into touch more if they want to. They want to keep playing, don't get me wrong, but just changes the intent now.
Tero Abshandadze. Off the bar and over. So Georgia 24, Portugal 11. And Portugal, well, they need 2 converted tries to come away with a victory. And Georgia have scored 32 tries in the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship. They've only conceded 5. 24 players 11. Beka Gogadze, he has been immense. Another impressive carry. Aprasitse is on the park. That's scrum off.
No. Thanks.
His 45th cap, and he goes on the short side to Akaki Tabudzadze. The runaway bullet back on the inside. He just misses Geda Aprasitse. Manuel Kudos Pinto. Well, Portugal need the next points, that's for sure. Betancourt. And Todua and Sharikadze with good defense for Georgia. Portela. And Thibaut de Freitas. Juan Belu back on the... coming onto the park and replacing Pedro Lucas. Here's Niniashvili.
Stop.
Goes for the spiral. And Geronimo Portela decides he won't chance it, and it's a good clearance, but Georgia won't mind that at all.
Yeah, all this now plays into the Georgian hands. A good substitution for Portugal, though, bringing on João Belo, who's a live wire scrum half. Look for him to run the ball. And that's just what they need. When you're this far down in the game, there's plenty of time left, but you do need to inject something into it, because otherwise Georgia will just starve your possession and sap the life out of this game. That's finals rugby. When it's all about the win.
Back by White.
Betancourt does well. Juan Belu, the little nuggety number 9. He can be very dangerous. Could he be the player to spark something for Portugal?
Use it. Non, pardon, c'est pas sorti. Allez contre Kewin.
Abchandadze, David Niniashvili. Happy to just send it into Portuguese territory. And that one is out on the full.
Just a comment on Niniashvili. So much of what we see on his highlights reel is his running play, the excitement, ability to beat defenders. But what he's demonstrating this last couple of minutes with the lead they've got is just that decision making. He's just comfortable putting the ball back down, asking questions of the Portuguese cover to say either run it back and roll the dice or kick it back to us, eat up some clock. It's really smart play from the Georgian fullback, showing a lot of maturity that probably defies his young years.
Matkave is on the park. Sharikadze with the take. And Matkave once more. And that's gone forward. And Portugal, will they try go coast to coast? Still 12 minutes left. And they just need 2 converted tries. Over the top it goes for Pintu. And Belu, he can be a wild card, this number 9. Dwatanish. Belu.
Avantage over for the knock-on. Wait.
And Portela. Niniashvili. Safety first from the fullback. And Portela with the mark. Really well positioned in backfield. And showed immense maturity in this game.
Wait. Time is not off.
I think you can just feel that the game's slowing down. It will really suit Georgia. That said, ball still in play here.
Gogadze. Alexandra Todua.
No, by here. Okay, no problem.
Gogigashvili with the carry.
Done.
Aprasitse. And Papitse, the try scorer.
Avantage over for the knock-on.
Opportunity on the right for Depladze. Akaki Tabodzadze back on the inside. And it's Timur Depladze, the outside centre, strikes for Georgia. And that is surely checkmate.
The Georgian faithful sensing as well. That might be another trophy in the cabinet for their side, for their country. Couple of examples in the second half where Tabuzadze's passing game has let him down, and I thought I just wanted him to carry and run, but this time it's the right decision, and he puts his mate away and they go under the sticks for the 7. And that's what happens. You starve Portugal ball. They're going to have to try stuff.
30 seconds.
And now, looks like it might be out of sight for this gutsy Portuguese team. Great firepower from Georgia.
Luka Matkava adds the extras. Georgia 31, Portugal 11. And it just shows you how ruthless Georgia can be. So efficient.
All good.
It's a 20-point ball game.
All good, substitution.
Well, there was a bit of a balance in the last 10 minutes for Portugal around the mindset of we need to try and push the tempo, but let's still make good decisions. Whereas now, to be honest, they've just got to go all out. They've got to gamble. If they concede a couple more, it doesn't matter. There's no point in playing safe in a final. Got to go after it now. Let's see what they can do.
Together, Aprazidze finds Kogi Kashvili.
No, outside, you're out.
Plays his rugby for Racing 92.
You're outside, ouais. Il rentre, Fanou.
Bentu. And De Freitas. He's put in tons of work, the Portuguese number 8. He has not stopped. Juan Belu, Portela tries to find Appleton. And Vincent Pinto will dink over the top. And he has trouble. Luka Matkava. And Portela, that was some good skill, but that ball is out. And Tom, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who is your player of the match?
Well, if I talk over a few of the boos from the crowd for a moment, they're not happy about pretty much a non-event, I think, happening there. Maybe some of the Portuguese fans just trying to help out their side there. My player of the match, there'll be some great performances, and that's what you always look for in a final. For me, the man who stood out for Georgia is Beka Gorgadze. He's not got on the score sheet, but he's done so much of the upfront work. He's been so physical, and there've been a few moments in the game where I really thought this guy's a cut above.
Yeah, time is off.
He's really made himself, promote himself to the forefront of this Georgian performance, given them a lot of opportunity to play, brilliant defensive work, incredibly physical, some athlete, and he's put that out on show for everyone tonight.
Exceptional to think that he hasn't played a minute before this match in the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship. And he's put in a massive performance on his 40th test match for his country. Beka Gorgadze. Together, Aprazidze.
You put the ball on him.
Has to dig. Chadagornia is on the park. Aprazidze looking for a runner. David Niniashvili. He's really got everything, this fullback. Just 20 years of age. He just knows what to do at the correct time.
Yeah, easy to pick him out. Obviously, we knew coming into the game he's a star player, but we're really seeing it. Every touch, he started off a little bit slow in the game, perhaps, but every touch, he didn't go looking for it, and he just controlled. Wonderful execution.
Yeah, clearly on your side, clearly on your straight.
Also, despite it's been 20 points at the moment difference, you still got to take your hat off to this Portuguese side. Losing 4 of their star players, they've had to make 10 changes since that semi-final 2 weeks ago, and they gave themselves a big chance in this fixture, and things in the second half have just not gone their way. But so much promise they do have for the future. And Chachanidze with a great take. Johidze at the back. Georgia are looking relentless. They're not stopping. Chadagornia to Aprazidze. Sharikadze. Matkava waves the wand, over it goes. David Niniashvili, the fullback. Aprazidze, free play for Georgia. Tepladze, Tornike, Chadagornia.
Captain. Yeah, no.
And Portugal, while coming into this game,
Yeah, no problem.
they were the
here,
most
no problem here,
disciplined
yeah.
side in the
But here
competition.
there was a tackler, and here 19 silent trees. 2 minutes improvement. Plus finish the game. Okay, with no more improvement. You have 19. Captain, yeah, here or here?
Niniashvili, will he be kicking to the corner?
19. Swim.
This Portuguese side, as you said, so much energy to start the game. A good performance for the most part. They look like they're running out of steam, just as the Georgian players probably recognise the game's done. The pressure just seeps off your back a little bit, and you start to really enjoy these last 5 minutes. Perhaps less could be said for the Portugal side, who will be fighting to the bitter end.
Chacha needs it with another great take. Another promising lock forward. Gorgi Kashvili. And Nikola Martins is going to the bin. Another yellow card. And you can see how frustrated he is. He's had a brilliant 2023 campaign. Came into this game with 100% tackle success rate. And Georgia will just love this now. Another chance to get a rolling more try. Up goes Chachanidze, Beka Gorgadze, the player of the match. He's joined by Georgi Chohidze at the back. Chohidze still has it. Georgi Chohidze! And that is the icing on the cake for Georgia. Georgi Chohidze, in his 30th appearance for his country, scores his 7th try for Georgia.
It's punishing stuff for Portugal. No prisoners taken at this level of international rugby. The Georgian pack showing their ruthlessness. Similar story, that rolling ball was well set up. Portugal did a good job of disrupting, but too much power, too much force coming round the back. Chohadze picking up a score. Just a quick word on the referee this thing. I thought he's allowed the game to flow really nicely. Maybe forced his hand a little bit on that yellow card, which is a shame, 5 minutes from the end, but it's allowed such a good spectacle, and that's what we want in games like this. Hats off to him.
Markava. Beautiful strike from the Mercurial number 10. He also kicked those winning points, actually his first ever points in Test rugby against Wales at the Principality Stadium in November, which gave Georgia their first victory over Tier 1 nation away from home. Probably the most iconic points in Georgian rugby history. So Georgia 38, Portugal 11. Still a few minutes left. And Lato Chachanidze in his 10th cap. A brilliant take. And Georgia, they just have no off switch. Portugal still fighting. Papitze, he wants to go for another carry. Screaming at his halfback, Gela Aprasitze.
Use it! No.
Aprasitze enjoying the caterpillar ruck. Betancourt with a clean take. Good kick chase. And Jose Madeira, the birthday boy. Shuan Belu, Botella back on the inside. Juan Granat. Almost isolated. Jadakornia trying to go for the turnover. And Danish with the carry. Belu, Portela. And Thibaut de Freitas, Sharikadze, the captain, trying to steal that ball. Belu, Portela, Appleton, space on the right for Dwight Danish, back on the inside to Manuel Kudos, Pintu in space. A little dink over the top. And Niniashvili positioned so well once again. The time is almost running out, but that was an exceptional piece of work from Manuel Kudos, Pintu.
Yeah, fitting that Portugal had another exciting tack before this game closes. A couple of key men playing role there. De Freitas has been awesome, as he always is for this Portuguese side. And then Karush Pinto has come in as a fairly late change from Marta, who's been excellent in this championship, and he's been fantastic. And another nod to Samuel Bentu, who, again, hasn't enjoyed as many minutes as maybe he would have wanted throughout the championship behind Sousa Getch. He's been brilliant tonight. And there's been many good performances from this Portuguese side. In the end, just undone by the power and the experience of the Georgians.
80 minutes on the clock.
Oh, sorry. Allez, rentrez, rentrez.
Lovely little kick. Will there be time for a line-out? Portela with the quick throw. Manuel Kudos, Pintu looking to set off once more. And Martin Belu with the carry. Penalty to Portugal. And they do have another chance to perhaps get their second try of the final. They're showing good character here.
They certainly won't stop. We said there's so much more in this game than just the obvious, just the fighting it out for the trophy. Portugal will now, their minds will turn not only to the pride that they so often bring to the fore, but they've got to continue to develop over these next 6 months or so towards the Rugby World Cup, where they'll be relishing the opportunity to play again against this Jordan side, but also against Wales, Australia and Fiji in Pool C.
Papidze, Akaki Tabutadze with a pass over the top. Niniashvili, that's gone backwards. And as cool as you like. Good skill from Niniashvili. Aprazidze. Matkava. And Georgia have won the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship. It's been an astonishing 9 months for Georgian rugby, with first ever Tier 1 victories over Italy and Wales, and they have now won their 15th championship at this level. Georgia have now also overtaken Samoa, and they are 11th in the world rankings. That is full time out here at Badajoz. It's Georgia 38, Portugal 11, and Georgia are the champions.
Yeah, and so many people coming into this game and pointing towards those results from last year from Georgia. But they had to back it up. They had to back it up in their old stomping ground, which was here in Rugby Europe, where the pressure was on as the favourites, and they've delivered. Brilliantly done. And actually so many people will point to this as being a sign that they should be playing more competitive games and they should be playing at a different level. But actually tonight Portugal put up a great fight for 65, 70 minutes of that game. And that will be an invaluable experience for both these sides in terms of the growth. But a great spectacle, some brilliant rugby on show from both teams. Georgia, superb. Firepower up front, pace and execution in the back line. It's a great combination.
As you mentioned, Portugal really in with a shot in the second half. And you've also got to take into account, which will bode them well for the World Cup, Tom, is that they've made 10 changes here to the side that defeated Spain in the semi-final 2 weeks ago. And there's a lot of these players through the tournament which have gained valuable experience. Time to hear from Patrice Lagisque, the head coach of Portugal.
Hi, a very tough and competitive game. What are your thoughts about the game? What are your thoughts, your feelings after the game?
My thoughts, okay, yes. We were beaten by a team that was stronger than us. They were more powerful, and after one half, we couldn't resist.
What made the difference between the two teams today?
Oh, they were really more powerful than us in the forwards, and our kicking game was really poor. That's why we offered them too many possibilities to counter-attack.
Thank you so much, and good luck in the future.
Also known as the Bayonne Express, played 46 tests for France between 1983 and 1991. And you can see Georgia, they're already celebrating in Badajoz. And these sides will meet again in September in Toulouse in that World Cup Pool C fixture. That game will be on the 23rd of September in almost 6 months' time. And Pekka Kogadze, the player of the match, previously in picture. David Costa on the left and Shuze Hindrad on the right. Portugal just thanking their fans for making their way from Portugal to Spain. Also in the center there's Tornike Kahoidze, just 19 years of age. And Dimur Pladze on his right, not on the left of your picture. This is the one thing about Georgian rugby, is that their starting lineup today average at 50 caps a player, but their average age is just 26. And it just shows you how the under 18s, the under 19s, the under 20s have come through the ranks, and they're developing into an excellent rugby nation. And Levan Maisashvili, the head coach in the centre, hard to believe that almost 2 years ago he was in a coma for 28 days for COVID, given a 1 to 2% chance of living. And this was the offload from Manuel Kudos Pinto that set up the try for his captain. And it was an incredible start for Portugal. That gave them a lot of hope. You could see their fans celebrating that try. And Niniashvili, just pure class by Kaki Tabudzadze. And that was his 26th try. And he's also now finishes as the top try scorer in the competition with 8 tries in this season's campaign. It's actually for the second year in a row. He was also the top try scorer last season. And Appleton really wears his heart on his sleeve. And Akaki Tabudzadze, this was the try that made him equal the Georgian record of 27 tries held by Mamuka Kogodze, the Georgian legend. He was very close as well, Tom, to getting try number 28.
I would have loved to have seen him get the record. Certainly a key man for them. Love the firepower. The forwards not wanting the backs to get all the limelight tonight. And the second half was definitely a bit more about them exerting their power on the game.
And Mikey Tajka, he was also really good on the park. And this was close to a try. Visan Pinto back on the inside that time for Pedro Lucas. And that was a try from Guram Papidze. The big tight head prop. And Abshandadze with the conversion off the bar. And the Georgian fans are extremely happy. And Akaki Tabudzadze back on the inside. That was a beautiful piece of work to his outside centre, Demur Tepladze. Lovely offload. And their fans will certainly expect big things at the World Cup. That was Georgi Choidze. We'll soon be hearing from the captain of Portugal, Tomasz Appleton.
How is your feeling after this result?
First of all, congratulations to Georgia. We were completely outplayed, especially in the second half. I think we made a pretty good start, but after that we just broke. Our team wasn't. We didn't play to our game plan, and we suffered a lot, especially in the second half. And congrats to them, and we need to step up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Antonio.
Tomasz Appleton, what a player, what a captain. His 53rd appearance for Portugal. And scored his 17th try today. And Tero Abshandadze, well, Georgia with two brilliant fly-offs. Tero Abshandadze and then also Luka Matkava. And Tero Abshandadze is just 23 years of age, and Luka Matkava is only 21. It's time to hear from Levan Maisashvili, the head coach of Georgia. Still yet.
First of all, congratulations. What are your feelings about today's game?
Thank you very much. It was a 100th win for Georgia on Rugby Europe. Also 29 win in a row. Congratulations, Georgia. I'm very proud. Boy, it plays very well. Congratulations, Georgia.
What made the difference between the two teams? What made the difference between the two teams?
Portugal played very well in first half, but after the second half, we managed the game better, and I think we made less mistakes, and the final that cost us the win the game.
Thank you so much and congratulations. First, congratulations. What are your feelings of today's game?
It's amazing to win this title once more. I don't know how many times we win it now. I think 14, 13, I don't know. But it's very nice. I think we played a very good tournament, and we are the strongest team, and we deserve to win.
Very competitive final, great ambience.
Ambience was fine. I would prefer it to be full. If this final was in Georgia, it will be full. Next time, hopefully, the final will be in Georgia.
Thank you so much and congratulations.
Georgia, he'll lift the Rugby Europe Championship for the 5th time in a row. Pekka Kogadze.
The team now victory, player of the match. Congratulations. How are your feelings?
Oh, it feels great. It feels great because we really needed that victory. We are looking forward to it, and well, we did it. We did it, and that was our least goal that we could do for the moment, for our people, for our families, for our country, and we are extremely happy for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So that is full time and confirmation of the statistics. Georgia with 6 tries, Portugal with 1, that opening try through Tomasz Appleton. And confirmation of the scorers: Akaki Tabuzadze got a double, Shalva Mamukashvili, Guram Papidze, Dimor Depladze and Georgi Chohidze scored for Georgia, and then Tomasz Appleton with the opening try, and only try for Portugal. Now time for the medals. Just Tom, in terms of, I know we briefly touched on it in this fixture, just in terms of that Pool C with Georgia, Australia, Portugal, Fiji and Wales, that arguably might be the most entertaining pool of the 2023 Rugby World Cup. And you can bet your bottom dollar that the Georgian fans won a quarter-final. And even Portugal, they are bound to upset a few teams as well. Anything can happen. You can even think of Wales can beat Australia, Australia can beat Wales, Georgia can beat Wales. They've done it before. Georgia can beat Fiji, Portugal can beat Fiji, Portugal could beat Georgia, Portugal could even beat Wales. Anything can happen. It's going to be so entertaining.
Yeah, I read an article earlier talking about the tectonic plates of world rugby shifting, and it was with direct reference to this Portuguese side and this Georgian side. And I can't wait to see whether they can deliver their best rugby at the tournament. Because so much about tournament rugby is about just being able to repeat the performances when it matters and when you need to. It's very different from playing across the whole season. But as both these teams have shown, they know how to do tournament rugby. So it'll just be a case of delivering that against some slightly better opposition. Probably much better opposition in some cases, to be fair. Interesting though, I think, Pat, you could read between the lines of all 3 Georgian interviews at the end of the game. They're obviously pleased with the victory, but they want more. And I love that. And their opportunity will come in September to try and deliver a little bit more for their country. And again, we talked about it at the very beginning of the game. Sherekadze and Gorgadze both referencing that at the moment, the thing that they could do to deliver pride and satisfaction for their countries, their families, something that they lean into so strongly as a team, so much part of their identity. This was the only thing they could do to satisfy that for the time being, so that was their focus.
So 4th place goes to Spain. Feta Castiglione taking the 4th place trophy. And Spain, well, that was a humdinger of a bronze playoff against Romania. 31-25 in favour of Romania. In Spain, they are transitioning. They have their eyes on the 2027 Rugby World Cup. A lot of young players in the squad. And they came really close to defeating Portugal in that semi-final 2 weeks ago in Lisbon. They were leading at half-time, 10 points to 7. And now Romania, for the bronze medal. Romania just with the 2 losses in this year's Rugby Europe Championship. Those coming in the semi-final against Georgia, and then also a loss against Portugal in round 3. And Romania, they'll also be at the Rugby World Cup.
Perhaps slightly tougher for them to claim a scalp out there. South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, Tonga, probably the game that they'll target as being their key opportunity for a win. Some good performances, I thought, throughout this championship. They always seek to be there or thereabouts in this competition.
Also see their former All Blacks, Seseni Anesi, getting a medal. He's been coaching in the Super Cup for the Romanian Wolves, and now part of the national setup as well. Some exciting talent in this Romanian side. Also Alan Cornache, who is on the left, who's about to receive his medal. He is a star in the making.
Of course, what this medal ceremony pays reference to is the new format this year, which obviously created more jeopardy in the competition, taken out the round-robin element, leading to the semi-finals, the final structure, and this kind of festival of rugby that we've had today. I think that lends itself well in terms of developing teams for knockout rugby and other competitions, whether that's the World Cup or other formats back with their clubs. And it creates something exciting for the fans, hopefully, who've enjoyed today.
Absolutely correct, Tom. I mean, if you look at the opening game today, it was a nail-biter, Belgium winning 18 points to 17. And then we also had Germany and the Netherlands, where the Netherlands won 50 points to 28, so many tries. And then perhaps the game of the tournament was the bronze playoff with 31 points to 25. So that's the type of thing a change in format can do with an exciting final day of rugby in the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship.
And that's the kind of rugby that fills the stadiums. Sharakadze didn't hold back when he was kind of semi-joking that the stadium not quite full, and if we was in Georgia, it'd be pumping and rocking full of fans. I'm sure he's not wrong, but all you can do is put a good product on the field and create a good experience for the fans, and the teams, the players have all contributed to that in a big way.
So Romania with the bronze trophy, and something to celebrate as they start their preparations for the 2023 Rugby World Cup. Really good to see a tight bunch of players.
It's a really valuable period of time for a lot of these teams, as you say, in terms of building that tightness, spending that time together, not just honing the on-pitch quality, the execution, but forming those bonds off the pitch as well. One of the challenges at any level of international rugby is how much time you spend together as a group, and particularly for some of the nations playing at this level, so valuable to spend extended amounts of time together in training camps, traveling together, living in hotels together, getting to know one another, and forming those bonds that go so far to building successful teams.
And the referees getting their medals on the left. Ludovic Kach Well, he's actually in the middle now, and to his left is Stefan Boyer, and to his right is Andrea Mabu. And they've certainly played their part. And now the silver medalists, you can see Jose Madeira and Jose Hindrad and Geronimo Botella, Manuel Quiros Pinto. Receiving their medals. It's their best finish in the Rugby Europe Championship since 2004, so they can be exceptionally proud. And to think that they were still in the Rugby Europe Trophy in 2019, this team can really be proud of what they've achieved. And you can see they look disappointed, but when they reflect in the coming days, they can really be proud of their performance. Betancourt as well, and then Joan Granat getting his medal, and Vasant Pinto has already scored 9 tries in 13 games, and then Mike Tajach, and then the 37-year-old Francisco Fernandes, and his 34th cap, and then Thibaut de Freitas, this was immense today, and Diogo Haas Fajera, the tight end prop, plays his rugby in Dax, which is also where Rodrigo Mato, who plays his rugby, missed start today. So Martins getting his medal. He's unlucky with that yellow card. And then Stevie Sequeira, the lock forward. Then Kamper. And Pedro Lucas, an exciting young talent. And Simal Bentu, who was really busy in this fixture, particularly in those opening 15 minutes. And Jose Hindrad, he looks very disappointed. But that just shows you how determined the squad is. And then Antonio Prim da Costa, just 20 years of age. And then the coaching staff, the medals as well. They'll be able to take so much out of these last 4 years in their build-up to this Rugby World Cup cycle. It's been an exceptional past 5 or 6 months for Portugal, qualifying for the 2023 Rugby World Cup with that draw against the United States in Dubai, and then winning all 4 of their first games of the 2023 Rugby Europe Championship, round 1, round 2, round 3, and then the semi-final, and then just coming up short in that second half here against Georgia.
Having come second in finals a few times in my own career, I'm kind of got an idea how these guys are feeling, and the disappointment will be very real right now. Come into a game knowing that the only result that you want is to win it, but I think perhaps after a couple of beers and the dust settling tonight, they reflect in the coming weeks. It's been a positive campaign for them. And actually, in terms of developing, sometimes these disappointments can be as valuable as the victories, and the high that they will have from Rugby World Cup qualification, coupled with the disappointment they'll be experiencing, but the experience of getting to this point of the competition will serve them very well.
Tomas Shackleton, Portuguese captain. Along with the rest of his team and coaching staff, thanking their fans. In Portugal, well, we'll see so much of them in the 2023 Rugby World Cup. They can play some glorious rugby. And now for the champions, for the 15th time at this level, David Niniashvili, followed by Vasil Lobshanidze, Beka Kogadze, Georgi Chohidze, and then Kote Mika Utadze following Georgi Chohidze, Yasmika Utadze. 82 caps for Georgia, Timur Tepladze, Tero Abshandadze. And then the Grandmaster, Alexandra Tudua, the 35-year-old, in his 107th cap. Then Beka Gigashvili, Tornike Jalagonia, followed by Laro Chachanidze. And then Shalva Mamukashvili. And the fans, it's time to party in Badajoz in Spain for Georgia. Nore Jayashvili also proposed to his partner after that round 1 victory against Germany in Tbilisi. And then Nika Abuladze, who's going to Exeter. And then Gogi Chashvili, and then Aprasidze, Beka Zakhinadze, who was actually standing captain for the opening 2 rounds of the 2023 campaign. Akaki Tabudzadze, joint top try scorer in Georgian rugby history. And then Georgi Tutski-Ridze, and also Kachichiladze, who played a few times in the championship. Otari Lashki, who made his Georgian debut against Germany in round 1 with that debut try. And Sergo Abramishvili also featured in the opening few games. They've got so much depth, Georgia. Mikhail Babunashvili, another one of those players.
Talk about how many times Georgia as a side have won this competition. But actually, for some of these younger guys, they haven't won that many times. And for them to experience it is really, really special. And it's also important for them to kind of be bred into those winning ways. Not just learning the expectations of the day-to-day, but to experience moments like this with the more senior players. For them to really feel part of the journey that the team's on. Really nice seeing some of those young faces light up getting their medals.
Georgia, well, they've got a squad of about 40 players who are all top class, and that's what their youth system has allowed them to do, especially over the past 5 to 6 years. When you think their average caps across the 23 today was 39 caps per player, in the starting lineup it was 50 caps, and just an average age of 26. And then Merab Sharikadze, the captain. Captain Marvel. And he'll raise the trophy for the 5th time as captain of Georgia. Special moments for these players. And their World Cup plans are well on track at the moment. Here we go. Georgia are the 2023 Rugby Europe champions. They win the Rugby Europe Championship for the 6th time in a row. And Mirab Sharekadze raises the trophy as the captain of Georgia for the 5th time in a row. And they'll be dancing in the streets of Badajoz.
Played it down a little bit. They certainly look pretty pleased to be picking up this trophy again. Yeah, they might make it look easy on the field at some point, but a lot of hard work goes in to get into this point. And they deserve a champagne spray or two. An excellent outfit. I particularly enjoy that little flex on just after the trophy lift. Intimidating bunch, whoever they come up against.
The 15th championship at this level. They've won every single Rugby Europe Championship since 2011, except for the 2017 Rugby Europe Championship. And Papidze, he'll be celebrating hard. He scored a try in this fixture off the bench. That's the front row there. And Shalva Mamukashvili, one of the veterans. And there, the front row from right to left. Nika Abuladze, Gogigashvili, Georgi Choidze, Guram Papidze, and Beka Gigashvili. And most front rows coming up against them, Tom, will be scared for their life, that's for sure.
Yeah, they showed their strength, not just at scrum time, but just around the park. There's a few guys there who clearly enjoy their trade, doing what they do. Great to see. The kind of bedrock of Georgian rugby, to be fair. The big boys up front. No longer the case that they're the only exports in terms of international club rugby now. With the superstars like Niniashvili tearing up, but certainly the way was paved by those front row forwards, and they continue to dominate.
And there's the loose forwards as well. Beka Zachinadze, Beka Gogadze, Georgi Tutskiridze. In the middle is Mikhail Kachichiladze, and then Todnike Chadagonia on the right, and David Niniashvili. They just got so many stars, this Georgian side. And then joined by Vasil Lubshanidze, Akaki Tabutsadze, Aprazidze, and Choidze. You can see, Tom, that they're going to celebrate long into the night, that's for sure. And here is the rankings. So Georgia are the champions. Second place is Portugal, Romania in third place, Spain in fourth place, the Netherlands with their highest ever finish at this level in fifth, Germany in sixth, Belgium in seventh, and then Poland in eighth. And that is all from the southwest of Spain in Badajoz. Thank you so much for joining us. What an incredible 2023 Rugby Europe Championship it has been. Thank you very much.